Okay, Paul, let's first of all talk about the transfer window. Closes at 5 o'clock on Friday, I think, is it, or is it midnight? I'm not quite sure, but it is looming. What's the situation at this moment in time? I mean, the one name that is out there is Exodus Cahagan.
Yeah, I mean, you can't disguise the fact that, you know, a lot of the supporters last night were asking me about X. We're in negotiations, with Kidderminster to bring him in. It's not a secret, and we'd like to feel that something could be done before the weekend. But it's not a done deal at the minute. Still a lot of things that need to be done. But X is one of a number of players we're looking at.
Yeah, it's a case you've now had 5 games to look at this squad, and now it's a time to sort of tweak it a little bit. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I get CVs and emails through the, it's like everyone's doing the same. Everyone's it's the same every year. People get to a certain period and realise what's needed and what they're missing and what they need to bring in. So we're not like any other club, unlike any other club at this level where, we've got off to I think it was a poor start and. Something he's doing about it, simple as that.
What sort of things do you think needs rectifying? What's not happening this year that was happening last year?
Well, I think if you analyse last season, the main thing is it was a very hard side to beat, and the three games that we've lost, I don't feel as though we've been outplayed or teams have pulled us apart. We've just conceded sloppy goals. And we're not going to give ourselves any sort of like base to head in a certain direction for if we keep conceding those goals. Monday was the same. We take that off to the lads' strike. In the first half, but the 2 goals we conceded in the second half, and our mindset to be hard to beat and hard to break down is not there at the minute. So. Something he's doing about it.
What about certain players? There have been players that have not yet really figured, the likes of John Thompson, Lee Stevenson, who pretty much played well in pre-season. Are they players that are coming slowly back into your thoughts?
Of course, I mean, the squad needs to to be utilised. If people aren't doing it in the 11, then obviously I've got to have a look at these players. But it's early days. It really is early days. I can understand 1 or 2 people's frustration with us. But like I say, the same amount of points, believe it or not, that we were last year at the same stage, and the team that did actually win it last year, I think won 2 of the first 6 or 7, and so it's early days yet. It's a case of I kind of know what's needed now. It's not as simple as that because we need to get 1 or 2 bodies in, and for that to happen, 1 or 2 players, will need to be moved out, but. The main goal this year is now, is to get us back. Initially, to be hard to beat and putting the blueprint down that we had last season.
Yeah, you mentioned the points tally there. I think what's been most disappointing has been the manner of the defeats, hasn't it? And how they have been capitulations in a lot of ways.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm not trying to gloss anything up. The 3 defeats. If you can see that amount of goals in the 3 defeats, then there's no way you can. You can be the biggest spin master on the planet, but I prefer to tell it like it is, and the 3 of them haven't been good enough. The 3 games that we've lost haven't been good enough. The goals we've conceded have been sloppy, schoolboy-like errors, and like I say, you can understand people's frustration. But the one thing that happens, looking back at some of our stats last year, we went from November to the 1st of January, and only picked up 8 points last year. In that period of time, we knew we was going to have a period this season where things aren't going right and things, things don't happen for you, and it's a sign of a football club, of the team, of the mindset of the team, and that when things aren't going right, it's about sticking together and about working through it. Because good players don't become bad players overnight, and they just sometimes just lose the way, and it's all about now how we respond. How we go about it, and hopefully, we can kickstart our season from this Saturday.
Last night, Wednesday night, there was the reserve game against Port Vale, and that gave you a chance, didn't it, to look at a few of the fringe players, and even though it was a defeat, it sounded like an encouraging performance.
Well, it was an excellent performance, if I'm honest, but it's looking back at it again. I'm not going to contradict myself. Last season, I said, and I maintain this season, it's all about results. It's a results-based business. you know, when people read the paper on the Sunday afternoon, they don't look how well you played, they look as if you've won. You know, all I can say is from last night there were some very, very good individual performances, and you know, there's one or two that have really sort of made me think about this Saturday. And one of the main ones was Adam Murray came through 90 minutes, which was a massive plus for us. Thought he did excellent last night, even though, you know, probably felt he was a little bit rusty, because we've missed a little bit of leadership in the middle of the park, and you know, it doesn't, you know, trying to replace somebody like Muzz is tough, but having him back would be a big plus. You know, we've got people like Andy Owens that aren't far away. You know, if we get one or two back, you know, and one or two, you know, back to the proper match fitness, Spadey's still getting, you know, match fit. You know, we'll look okay, but there still needs one or two additions. There still needs, like I say, the probably squad needs probably trimming a little bit, and you know, but like I say, it's early doors yet.
Last night, Tafazolli made his first appearance. He came off with an injury, didn't he? What's the prognosis with him?
Well, I mean, he's gone to see the physio. His hamstring tightened up. We don't know if there's a little pull in there, but you know, for the first 45 minutes, I thought the lad was excellent. You know, really, yeah, everything I knew we'd get out of the lad. You know, he's a big old unit. He's 6'5". Everything that came, sort of like, you know, in and around the, you know, the air, he headed. But the fans saw last night. He's articulate with the ball. He can play. So be a great addition to the squad. But just a bit unlucky, you know. At the minute we get one back and we seem to lose one. But everyone's going through the same scenario, and there's no reason to cry about that. We just need to get on with it.
I noticed last night on the team sheet there was a trialist. Can you tell us anything about him?
Yeah, he did really well. You know, he looked a very good player, and he's one that, like I say, we're going to speak to next week. Did very well. I'd like to keep his sort of name under wraps at the minute, you know, because it's coming to that transfer deadline day where everybody's looking for good players. So, but no, he did very well. I mean, I'm talking to some of the supporters. I went and stood with some of the supporters, you know, in the second half, and they were asking who he was. So I mean, his name will be out there somewhere. But no, I thought he did excellent. And but like I say, you know, we might have another look at him, depending on circumstances, situations. But yeah, he put in a really good shift.
2 home games now coming up in quick succession. Vitally important, aren't they, these 2 games for you now?
Yeah, I mean, all your home games, you know, if we want to be successful this season, no matter what start we got off to, because, you know, come January, February time, when we're coming around the bend, everyone seems to forget about August, September. But, you know, your home games in football are so important, you know, and that's why it's so important as a football club that we stay mentally strong, you know, and, you know, we've got some very good supporters here at this football club, as we saw last season, you know, get behind us, and we need them 100% behind the boys at this time, because, you know, I said 2 or 3 weeks ago, it's not the sign of a football club when you're continuously winning every week. It's very easy in football to come out and to wear your colours and to support the boys. It's when you've gone through a little bit of an indifferent patch that really shows what a football club's about, you know. And I spoke to Mickey Mellon yesterday, Fleetwood, you know, they was under the same sort of situation last year where, you know, the world's against them, you know. But he said that, you know, the Fleetwood Town, you know, galvanises the football club, and it made them stronger. And we all know what happened for the rest of the season. But, you know, I want to see this football club, you know, when we do go through bad patches, really stick together. And, you know, and really I want the supporters to really get behind the players, because, you know, it's not just saying it now because we've had a couple of different results. But I said it last year, is that, you know, football clubs that are united and are going in one direction will be successful. The ones where, you know, everyone's, you know, got a different thought process, and every little mistake's analysed and probably booed, don't get anywhere, you know. So, you know, it's important now the football club stick together, you know. The boys, you know, I'm hoping we'll get back on track this weekend, and hopefully kickstart our season.
What about Woking on Saturday? How do you feel that one's going to pan out?
Well, it's just, I'll be honest with you, you know, every game at this level of football, I was down there at Braintree the other night, you know, and the scoreline said 4-1 to Braintree, but it wasn't a 4-1. You know, it's a strange old league this year. I've never seen it like this, and they've got a lot of power, a lot of pace in the side, experienced manager at non-league level, and You know, it's a big club. It's a big club. You know, people don't, you know, shouldn't turn their nose up at Woking. You know, very well supported, and it'll be one that, you know, I want to see us get back to, you know, close to the side that we were last season. And you know, we had one or two, you know, that supported us. We had one or two that ridiculed us for the way we were last year. But you know, we finished last season in 3rd place. You know, scored, you know, I think it was the 2nd top goal scorers in the league. And more importantly, we were a nice. I think the whole football club was together, and you could see that the way the players played. You could see the way the supporters supported us, and we need to get back to, you know, to that. So whatever the scenario on Saturday, I want to see steps in the right direction by the whole football club. You know, I've been working hard. The players have been working hard. I know the supporters will come out and support us on Saturday. You know, let's get this football club back on the, you know, on the right lines and heading in the right direction again.